So today we are looking at compound interest. So all interest is based on simple interest. All interest is based on that. But what happens at the end of a term is important. So with compound interest, what happens is interest gets paid periodically. Might be every year, might be sooner, it might be later. But interest is paid every now and then into the same place where the original money is. So the money grows, and the next time interest is paid, there's interest on the original amount, plus there is interest on the interest. Okay, interest on the interest. So where it went up nice and evenly with simple interest, we get an exponential sort of growth with compound interest. So let's have a look at how compound interest works. So we've got $250 at 10% per annum. So the interest is paid 10% interest every year. So after 1 year, they're going to get $25 interest. 10% of 250 is 25. And it's added to the account every year. So we just go and do that calculation. We get our 25. That's the interest. And we add the interest to the original amount, the 250, and at the end of 1 year, they got $275. So in the second year, they're getting interest, 10% interest for 1 year on their $275. Okay? So the second year they're getting $27.50 interest, an extra $2.50. And that money gets added to the account. So now the account's gone up from $250 to $275, now to $302.50. Okay? And then, so that's the amount in the third year. That's the amount of money they've got in the account. So that's what the interest is on. So we work out 10% of that for 1 year, and we get $30.25 interest. So even more interest again. Add that to the account, and we've got $332.75 in the account, and that keeps going on forever until you stop the account or something like that. So what's actually happening here? The first time, to work out the 10% interest, so 10% interest is just times 1.10, or just times 1.1. Okay, that helps you understand it. You don't need the zero. But it helps you understand it, and just make it 1.10, it's 10% interest. It's the same as 1.1. So what they're doing, they're multiplying the 250 by 1.1, and they get the 275. Okay, so they're increasing $250 by 10%. That's what interest does. It increases the amount by 10%. So in the second year, they've got this calculation, but it gets times by another 1.1 because that gets increased by 10%. So effectively what we're doing in the second year is we're multiplying the original amount by 1.1 squared in the second year. Squared in the second year. We get our $302.50, which is this value down here. So then we take this amount and we multiply that by 1.1. So in the third year we're multiplying by 1.1 cubed. See the pattern that's occurring. Okay, so after n years, in the nth year, we multiply by 1.1 to the n. So if n is 10, if we want 10 years, we multiply by 1.1 to the power of 10, and that's how much money is in the account. That's the amount of money in the account. Okay, the total amount. So let's look at how the simple interest formula. We're not going to do that every single time. It's very repetitive. That's what we have maths formulas for, to avoid that sort of repetitiveness. So we have this simple interest formula. A equals P. So what we did over here, we did A equals 250 times 1.10 to the power of 10. Okay, have a look down here. 250 times 1.10 to the power of 10. That's what we did. Okay, so this is our formula. 1.10 is 1 plus the 10 over 100. Okay, the P is a 250, and this is just 1 plus 10 over 100. you don't have to be this formal. You can just recognise if it's 10%, it's 1.10 in the brackets. If it's 12%, it's 1.12 in the brackets. If it's 7%, it's 1.07 in the brackets. Okay, and T is the number of years. So in this case over here, 10 years. So this is a simple interest formula which you need to have copied into your bound reference. Okay, and probably also copy what the different terms mean as well. P, R and T. T is the time in years, R is the annual interest rate. Okay, and this doesn't, not unlike the simple interest formula that worked out interest, this one actually works out the amount. So if you want the interest, if you want to know just how much interest they got, you have to actually get the amount and minus the original value. Okay, so if we go back here, after 10 years they had $648.44. So after 10 years, so we go 648.44 cents. That's the right number, isn't it? Yep. So it was after 10 years. So the interest here would be the amount, 648.44, minus the principal, which is a 250, and that will give us, what would that give us? That would give us 350, 398.44. You can use a calculator and check, see if I did that right if you want. Okay. So that's the amount at the end, that's the amount at the start, and that's the interest that they've earned. Okay. So we'll have a look at some examples. Okay, determine to the nearest dollar the amount of money accumulated after 3 years, so that's T is 3 years, if $2,000, so that's going to be the principal is 2,000, is invested at an interest rate of 8%, so R equals 8%. So look at this formula, this 1 plus R over 100 is just going to be 1.08. Okay, I'm quite happy for you just to skip and just do that. 1 plus R over 100, effectively what we're doing, we're going 1 plus 8 over 100. You can put that in your calculator, you're going to get 1.08. So 8% is 1.08. So determine the nearest dollar amount of money accrued after 3 years. So for part A, we're going A equals 2,000 times 1.08 to the power of 3. On the calculator, the YX button is the power button, and we get 2519.42. Remember it's money, so I'm just going to put a dollar sign. 2519.42. 2 decimal places is 20 for money. Now part B, we want to work out how much interest they earned. So they ended up with $2,519.42. They started with $2,000. So the interest they earned was that number minus that one, which is $519.42. Okay, the amount at the end, how much of it was interest. If you need to pause to copy down the examples, just pause the video and copy them down. Okay, calculate the amount of debt and interest owed. So determine to the nearest dollar the amount of money owed after 2 years. So time is 2. If $10,000, so that's the principal, is borrowed at an interest rate of 10% per annum. So that's just going to be 1.10. So the amount, if we're working out the amount of money, so A equals 10,000 times 1.10 to the power of 2. And we get $12,100. So someone's borrowed $10,000 at 10% interest, so that's how much money they have to pay back after 2 years. So, and the interest, I equals A minus P, so 12,100 minus 10,000, so the interest is 2,100. Okay, that's it, that's how we use the formula. Make sure you're getting plenty of practice using that formula today. It's pretty straightforward. The more you practice it, the better you'll be at it. So if we looked at simple interest just goes up by, so this account here, 10% simple interest, it gets $25 each time. The interest goes somewhere else, not into the account. So it just goes up by $25 each time, makes a nice straight line. Compound interest, there's more and more money going into the account each time, so there's more and more interest, and you end up getting this curved line, the red line there. Okay, so it starts off, it's similar down low, but after a certain amount of time the red line starts to go up much more steeply, which means it's accruing more interest. So that's it today. Exercise 4D, tick sheet questions. I'm on Teams chat. Ask me for help if you need help. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next class. See you later.